Sometimes the hardest relationships to understand are the ones where nothing is obviously wrong, and yet something important no longer feels the way it used to. There's no major conflict, no defining moment, but the connection feels quieter, less engaging, and harder to access in the ways that once felt natural.
You're still functioning as partners. Life is moving forward. Responsibilities are handled. But the relationship itself feels like it's standing still. And that's what many couples mean when they say the relationship feels stuck. Not broken, but no longer growing. If you've recognized the signs, less connection, more routine, more managing than experiencing, then the question becomes, what actually helps shift that pattern?
In the beginning, relationships feel like they're moving somewhere. You're building something together, and that sense of movement creates energy and engagement. But over time, that naturally changes. The relationship becomes more about maintaining what already exists rather than creating something new.
So, let's address what causes the stuckness, and later we'll look at specific steps to rebuild the relationship. As time goes on, life fills in around the relationship: work, responsibilities, schedules. And gradually, the details of everyday life take over. Meanwhile, space for growth becomes smaller, without anyone intentionally choosing that.
And when growth slows down, the relationship can start to feel flat, not because something is wrong, but because nothing is actively evolving. Stability is important, but without movement, stability can begin to feel like stagnation. Once that pattern forms, it tends to reinforce itself. Less connection leads to less effort, and less effort gradually creates more distance. And that distance isn't dramatic. It shows up in small ways: less conversation, less curiosity, fewer shared moments that feel engaging. Over time, reconnecting starts to feel like it requires effort, which makes both people less likely to initiate change. So couples often wait, assuming something will shift naturally. But without a change in direction, the pattern tends to continue.
The relationship remains intact, but the experience becomes quieter, flatter, and less emotionally engaging. This can't help but impact the level of passion in general, as well as in the bedroom. Now let's take a look at 4 specific steps you can take to actually rebuild your relationship and restore the intimate connection. The first step is simply acknowledging that something has changed, not assigning blame, but recognizing the pattern together.
This isn't about identifying what went wrong. It's about recognizing what's missing and creating space to address it collaboratively. How you approach that conversation matters. It's not "you've changed" or "you're not trying." It's "I miss feeling close to you." That kind of language invites partnership instead of defensiveness, which makes it much easier to move forward together. And that shared recognition is important, because rebuilding connection is not something one person can carry alone. If you want a simple way to work through what might be getting in the way in your relationship, we've put together a short diagnostic quiz you can go through privately. You'll find a link next to this video.
Once awareness is there, the next step is to reintroduce movement into the relationship. By movement, we mean moving away from the patterns that have created feeling stuck. Trying something new together, changing how you spend time, or even shifting small habits can interrupt the sense of sameness.
Even small changes can create new energy because they give the relationship something to respond to again. Step 3 involves restoring curiosity. Curiosity often fades in long-term relationships because familiarity creates the sense that there's nothing new to discover. But people are not static. They continue to evolve, often in ways that go unnoticed when curiosity is no longer active. Without curiosity, conversations become predictable and interaction becomes based on assumption instead of presence. Restoring curiosity doesn't require anything complicated. It starts with asking slightly deeper, more thoughtful questions. When curiosity returns, conversations feel more alive and connection begins to rebuild naturally.
Step 4 involves one of the most important shifts, focusing on small, consistent moments of reconnection. Not big gestures, not major changes, just small interactions that signal attention, care, and presence throughout the day. A brief check-in, a moment of appreciation, a few minutes of undivided attention. These are the moments that shape how the relationship feels over time. These moments don't feel dramatic, but they accumulate. And over time, they begin to shift the emotional tone of the relationship. Reconnection is not a single event. It's the result of consistent, intentional interaction.
Step 5. Reduce passive time. One of the subtle patterns that keeps relationships stuck is too much passive time together, being near each other without truly engaging. That might look like sitting together while distracted, interacting minimally, or defaulting to routines that don't require attention. Those moments aren't harmful on their own, but when they dominate, they replace opportunities for real connection.
The goal isn't to eliminate them, it's to balance them with moments of shared attention and intentional interaction, because connection is built through engagement, not just being in the same space. So let's recap what we covered in this video. Relationships don't stay connected on autopilot. They stay connected through attention and intention over time. And when small changes begin to happen consistently, the relationship starts to move again, gradually but meaningfully. That movement is what brings energy back. Not all at once, but in a way that feels steady, natural, and sustainable.
If you want to understand the small daily behaviors that strengthen connection even further, we recommend you watch our next video, The Small Daily Habits That Bring Couples Closer. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Reigniting Passion channel for a wide range of strategies to rebuild your connection and bring back the spark to your relationship.